Welcome to Lake Hartwell State Park. This portion of video is going to show you the sights in what I would really call the center part of the campground. It starts at the same location as the boat ramp section of sites that are spaces 1 through 8, and we will start with space 9, but rather than going to the boat ramp, we're going to go straight into this center section. Space 9 is a back end here on the left. I have a tree fairly close, but I think you can work around that. It's a gentle slope up in, fairly flat spot when you get here, and a decent size outdoor living space considering the lack of space so many of these sites have, and a nice grass area around it, but you are right on the main drive. Water and power are fairly far forward in this site. If you're backed all the way in, you may have a hard time, at least with power. Space 10 is a pull-through. Nice, long, easy space to get in and out of. A decent sized outdoor living area. Lots of grass on the back side of your camper, right up against the road, but not bad. Gentle slope back out, but should be easy to get in and out of with pretty much anything. Space 11 is a back end. We have a small cedar tree kind of interfering with things, but its small branches shouldn't be a problem to get into with whatever. It's a gentle slope up in. Seems to be flat when you get into the space, and a nice outdoor living area. All right, in space 11. I'm sorry, this is space 12. So it's a gentle slope up in, fairly flat when you get here. Again, a nice outdoor living area, and fairly open around the space for more room for tents or whatever you might want to do with it. Space 13, easy access, a gentle slope down in, and a flat spot when you get here. A decent outdoor living area. Nice and wooded. A little bit of extra space back in there if you needed it for something. Space 14, an official handicap spot. Easy access in, gentle cross slope on the drive. Once you're all the way in, it's nice and flat. Nice outdoor living area, and lots of room around the campsite that's flat and or reasonably flat, and doesn't look like anybody else would claim if you wanted it. That right there is the driveway out, the road out. So you do have a decent amount of traffic going by on the back side, but overall a nice site right next to the bathhouse. And these seem to be very nice bathhouses. Space 15 would be a Campground Host site. Easy access in, gentle slope up, nice flat spot. Nice long spot. Decent outdoor living area. You do have a power panel right next to your outdoor living area, but that seems to be fairly common. One very nice feature to this space, if it's available, is sewer on site. Alright, and this is the driveway up from the boat ramp. And then we have another set of gates that keep people out of some of the sections of the campground when they're closed at different times of the year. And this would be space 16 we're coming to. Fairly gentle downslope into the space. Fairly flat space when you get here. Small outdoor living area with a bit of a cliff off the side of your outdoor living area. That appears to be another cut through. There are a bunch of cut throughs in this campsite that are kind of confusing. This would be space 17. We've got a steep drive up, and we're backing off of that into a steep drive down into a campsite with a long drive, but it is straight. And once you get to the bottom of the drive, it's reasonably flat. A nice size outdoor living area. I think it would be fine for just about any camper, but really long ones might have a hard time getting level because the front does slope up fairly steeply. Alright, on up the hill to space 18, and this is a fairly steep drive up. The turn into this campsite is pretty steep. It's got a lot of cross slope to it. The drive into the campsite is not very steep. It's gentle once you get to it. Maintains the cross slope all the way back, so you will have to block up one side of the camper. Outdoor living area is not real big, but larger than some. And you'll have a nice view down on the top of the campers as they come in. As we leave, you can really see the cross slope at the end of this drive. In order to get something large in, you're really going to have to hug the upper side of this driveway, and still might have a hard time. I don't know if you can see in the video all the scrapes in the asphalt, but this one's been hard on campers trying to get in and out of. And on up the hill to space 19. Again, a pretty dramatic cross slope. And the driveway, the campsite has a good bit of cross slope until you get back in the back, and then it's fairly level. Small outdoor living area that could be expanded towards the front of the campsite. You look down nicely on the campsite below over in 18. Again, I hope from the video you can see the cross slope at the driveway and the gouges in the driveway. Another one that would be very hard to get a large camper back into. Space 20. Still has that cross slope at the entrance, but not as bad because we're reaching the top of the hill. But nice gouges in the driveway. A gentle slope up into the space, and then the space flattens out nicely. I hope the hickory nut, or the little oak nuts aren't making too much noise in the video. Small outdoor living area, kind of wooded right off the edge. I do not see any poison ivy, but looks like a good place for it. And again, you can look down on your neighbors in space 19. Another thing that might be an issue because that is a steep drive coming up, and anything with a diesel is going to be roaring as it comes up that hill. So everybody that comes in, you're going to know they've arrived. Space 21. Alright, we've lost our cross slope now. A little bit easier to get into. Very short campsite. Once you reach the flat area, a small outdoor living area. Nice view of the woods. That was 21. Space 22 is also a short space, easy access. Small outdoor living area, and we've reached the point where around your campsite is now very steep drop-offs. Now space next to us should be space 23, and it's occupied by a small camper. It's actually a little bit bigger than that camper needs because it is flat all the way in. Much nicer outdoor living area. Not a really bad spot. Space 24. I've got to go back down the hill a little bit for you to see space 24. We have laughed at this space ever since we first came to Lake Hartwell. You come up the main drive up the hill, and the logical direction is straight when you get to the top of the hill. But no, straight would be campsite number 24, a pull-through. The driveway goes off to the left. So anybody who's parked in space number 24 and might happen to have a bedroom in the back of their camper, everybody that comes into campground at night is shining lights right into their bedroom. I do not understand this space. I realize it makes it easier to get several more spots beside it, but why did they put a campsite in the middle of the driveway? Aside from that, it's easy access, it's flat, it's pull-through, so anything could get in it. Has a decent outdoor living area, and the bathhouse is right next door. So, other than being in the middle of the road, it's a nice spot. So now we'll come back to space 25. Got a steep entrance to the campsite. There's a gentle slope all the way to the back. It never does level out. We have a nice outdoor living area. Nice big outdoor living area that overlooks the road right at the top of that steep hill where all the diesel trucks make all the noise. And space 26, another one with a slope up in all the way, gentle slope even at the top. Not a bad outdoor living area, especially if you know your neighbors in 25, or if you don't have neighbors in 25, it would be a really nice space for doing a little sidewalk art or something, which is what somebody has been doing in space 25. Space 27. Pretty good slope up in and a decent cross slope. Large tree at the entrance. But once you get back in here, the cross slope goes away. It's just a gentle slope up all the way to the back of the campsite. And a decent sized outdoor living area. And there's your bathhouse right next to you. The entrance is a little bit complicated for anything larger because of all the twists and turns and a little bit of cross slope at the bottom, but shouldn't be too bad. And then our road makes a hard left turn with a tree right in the corner. And as you can see by the sand and gravel on the side of the road, it gets cut pretty tight regularly, and I think that tree abuses campers fairly well. Space 28. Nice flat spot, easy access, small outdoor living area, but not a bad spot, and again, pretty easy to get into. And space 29, again, easy access, flat, not much of an outdoor living area, not too bad of a cliff off the sides, but a decent amount of slope. Alright, and if we take the road downhill, that takes us to sites 30 through 59. We're going to take the exit and the tent site parking and see what's around this direction. And we have parking for a bathhouse. Now that's a big camper trying to come around that tight turn back there. Okay, one of the strange intersections here, where roads seem to come from all over the place. And we are back to space 60. The road's fairly flat. The back end is a gentle slope up, a little bit of cross slope in the back of the space, and a little bit of slope up as you come in. Another small outdoor living area with plenty of woods right behind it and plenty of opportunity for poison ivy. Space 61. Easy back in. I don't think that tree's really a problem. Nice level spot. A decent outdoor living area. Nice slope off the back of the site. And space 62. A gentle slope all the way up in. Wow, it's a long way back here. Alright, we have a 62A and a 62B. Don't know which one is which. So we'll start with the one on the right. It's reasonably flat, nice big outdoor area. But I think the outdoor area is really intended to be shared between the two of you. Fairly easy to get into, and it is a turn, but I don't think the trees are in the way. And this would be the other half of 62. Again, nice flat spot, nice view of the lake. Outdoor living is not too big, but not bad. And again, I think you get to share it with your neighbors. I think their water spigot needs to be a little taller. Alright, so that's 62A and I assume 62B. Alright, in space 63, fairly steep slope up in, a gentle slope once you're in the space. Kind of a small outdoor living area with a little slope off of it, but you could spread out around it some. Space 64, a gentle slope in, basically flat when you get here. A decent outdoor living area, right up against the road, but a decent space. I don't know what I think of the fire pit, but I haven't paid much attention to fire pits here. I'm not real sure where you put any of them, but the trees are a little close overhead for my taste, but oh well. Alright, space 65, a gentle slope all the way up in. The site itself has a gentle slope on it. It's a long drive, but fairly small campsite. Appears to have a trail off the back down to the lake. Small outdoor living area. That tree right there might pose a problem if you have a large camper, a long camper, and multiple slide outs. You might have a hard time working around that tree. But not a bad site. Next is space 66. A little bit of cross slope, a little slope uphill at the back of the space. Nice outdoor living area. A lot of room for outdoor living when you take advantage of your neighbor's space. Pretty sharp turn to get into it. Space 67, easy access, fairly flat, flat all the way to the back of the spot. A little bit of outdoor living behind the space, a trail down to the lake, and a decent amount of outdoor living to the side. And a bathhouse across the street. Overall, not a bad spot. Space 68, a handicap spot, an official handicap spot. Nice and flat. Easy access, a decent outdoor living area. And easy access to the bathhouse. Does not appear to be a handicap, a two-code handicap walk, but nice access. And I think that's all the spaces in this middle section of the campground.